So, what are the steps that you can take to learn how to download? Step one, it's all about believing that you can do this. That's it, dare to believe. Simple step. Step two is about setting the intention. And when I say that, that means that you're going to set the intention in your heart, get deep into your heart, settle into your heart, and say, I intend to receive wisdom from the love wisdom energy, from God, from the Holy Spirit, whatever it is that you want to call it. And I want you to, if you can, establish a place that you can always go to do this. I always go in a very special chair. I always have a journal, and it's always a quiet time. Many times I do it before my morning swim. And it seems to somewhat, this chair have the energy that just kind of gets me in the right vibration. Sometimes you might want to start with, the ritual of Thanksgiving or prayer before you start your download. But the point of it is set the intention to be excited. You're going to receive wisdom, and it's going to be hard to stop because once you start, it's like drinking water and breathing. Step three is about preparing your space. So again, you can sit down. You may even lie down. The whole point, though, is to somewhat be able to be still and be in silence, be in the present moment. So again, we talked about using the same space every time because it leaves this energetic footprint. What I want you also to do is make sure there's no distractions. The mind and the egoic, mucky energy is going to try to interfere. So I would always say, train the mind to sit in the stillness and to be in the present. Do what it is that you need to do to let go of yesterday and not future trip on tomorrow. Be in that present moment. Give it some time to clear that space, however it is that you feel you need to clear it. Even I can remember in the very early days, I had to clear my mind just by writing down all the things that were on my mind. And then it was like, tear up the piece of paper and okay, it's done. So step three, prepare your space. Make sure that your space is ready to take on the energy of the love wisdom. A good example of this, and I touched on it a little bit in the last lesson, is when I was woken up at 2:38 in the morning on January 22nd in the year 2022. I was basically given a download of the Triple B song. And at that point in my life, I had already established, the daily habit of receiving and recording my daily downloads. I think some people may call these channeled messages, but I've just always felt more comfortable using the term daily downloads and wisdom nuggets. And in this particular download at 2:38 in the morning, the concept of the Triple B, bold, beautiful, and brave, and what led into the leading heart community was given to me. My innate intuitive intelligence woke me up right out of a sound sleep. And I like to sleep. So often when it does that, I say, not now. I want to go to bed. I'm sleeping. I'm just getting settled into a nice dream, whatever it was, comfy in my covers. And they wouldn't let me go back to sleep. Those energies just said, nope, nope. And pretty soon I heard very clearly three words: bold, beautiful, brave. Bold, beautiful, brave. Just imagine me with my pillow and my covers. Bold, beautiful, brave. Oh, bold, beautiful, brave. Bold, these words made no sense to me. And that's actually the conversation I was having. They make no sense to me. I mentioned, in the previous lesson, how I even thought, okay, bold, beautiful, and brave. Are you talking about me? Maybe it should be bold, smart, and brave. I sometimes feel much smarter than I do feeling more beautiful. It didn't matter. I was just receiving a download. You can take the time to sometimes argue with it. My egoic self comes in and wants to do that every now and then, sometimes more often than not. But it was just about take the 3 words. I did eventually get up because what I heard was write it down. And then as I'm writing down the 3 words, as I mentioned before, the tune's coming, the melody's coming. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what these 3 words mean. It makes no sense. However, I do know I don't fluff off these type of situations anymore. So I did what I was asked to do. I wrote down the 3 words. I sang the song. I recorded the melody. And even the next day, I made a little mini cartoon with me and my granddaughter Ivy singing it, which you'll probably be able to still find up on the website. Now, fast forward, and I know that those words, they were a roadmap for my everyday living, working, and loving. Being bold means bold love. Because that's how I feel when I'm in the love wisdom energy versus in the energy of the egoic Muck. The word beautiful describes the beautiful wisdom that I get that helps me understand and navigate life. And lastly, brave is exactly what happens. I become brave when I begin to dare to believe, and that muscle keeps getting stronger and stronger. And for those of you, who have gone to the Leading Heart community, that whole concept of that community was built on bold, beautiful, brave, and the energy of it. And then me having the brave will to trust that I could put it together, to trust that there would be individuals and organizations that wanted to be able to become the energy of the love wisdom and move that forth through their day and how they exist in the world. It was something that was beyond my imagination, but it's there and it's working now. And thank goodness for that cold January morning when they woke me up out of sound sleep with those 3 words, bold, beautiful, and brave. And all of that came from a download. And, if you don't know me personally, and what I do for a living, but I've spent over 20,000 hours mentoring, coaching, guiding individuals, CEOs, presidents, business leaders, individuals, and they've always benefited, at least I believe they have benefited from my open transparency of my business mind and how I marry it with my innate intuitive intelligence. And I've been very successful in the business world. And most people know I'm intuitive and empathic, and I've got these special sensory gifts. And it does bring a whole new dimension to the way I work, because I know that if I get a download regarding the work, I'm brave enough to say it. Now, some might say, well, this is a dream state. And they'll ask me, are you just dreaming this stuff? Are you daydreaming? No, it's not. Step 4 is you've got to come present into it and begin to observe what's happening and how you feel. And obviously write down and record as much as possible so that later you can review it. Even as I am delivering this online course and recording this, I can tell that the love wisdom is working through me because I have a sensation in my ears. It's not really a ringing, or I think they call it tinnitus, but it is a constant buzzing that is in my ears. And that's what happens when I sit in my special chair during my special time and I clear my space. I ask for the love wisdom energy to merge with my energy. And I began to record how it was I was feeling, whether it was chills. I know I like to always be barefoot. I'm barefoot now, just so that I can be somewhat grounded. It's really about getting into that frequency to receive. Think of like the radio station. You're tuning the radio station because you don't want fuzziness, you don't want static, you want to get it just right. And so that's what you're doing as you're preparing in these first 4 steps. And after you've done this a number of times, your body's going to be able to just kind of subconsciously tap into it and get ready. It'll just know. You're going to become familiar with the nudges. You're going to be able to recognize when he has something to say to you. And you're going to be able to just follow the guidance, that GPS and the information, it'll start to come fast. Now, some people, when they experience downloads, and I have experienced this as well, they may experience a download in a dream state. That could be a dream that is repetitive. I've had dreams that, repeat themselves 5 days in a row. And then I finally sit back and go, okay, what are you trying to tell me? And there might be a metaphor in there, or there might be a behavior that's in there, or an energy of the dream that they want me to pick up. Others say that they get a repetitive feeling. And along with that comes the repetitive thoughts. I'm very open about my gifts with the people that I work with. So it's not uncommon for them, to come and ask me, what do you think this is? Do you think I'm experiencing a download? And I have some close friends who know my heart to say to me, hey, that's a special gift you have, Fitz. I don't have it. And I have to say, no, it's not a special gift. Anyone can download. Anyone can tap into this innate intuitive intelligence. They just need to believe it. You've got to relax those belief systems that we talked about in the earlier lessons. As soon as some of the individuals that I mentor begin this journey of daring to believe, that words that they're journaling might not be of their own, and the words and the messages are really starting to flow, they start to read them and discover, wow, this is wisdom that they most likely could not have picked up in their own personal experience. Many have said to me the download just started because I was curious about it and I wanted it to become a daily routine, but I didn't realize that it was really going to put my heart at ease and give me this feeling as if spirit is walking next to me in every step I take during this life. Another question that I often get from people that I mentor and work with regarding downloading and tapping into the love wisdom is they'll say, what would religions say about this? And I'm pretty sensitive to that because I have been involved in the Christian religion for my whole life. And I usually just start with the statement, dare to believe. In any religious construct, you must dare to believe what they want you to adopt as their religious rituals. So most likely they've already done some dare to believe behaviors. You need to also just realize that you've got to release anything in your belief system that says this is evil, because what I'm talking about here is that the love wisdom energy is love, and love isn't energy. It transcends all. It accepts all. It shows up in a variety of religious belief systems. If you are finding wisdom, peace, and joy in the love wisdom energy, you have a religion that says, hey, that's evil. I would have to ask, what do the leaders of that religion fear? If it's a religion that's rooted in a foundation of love, the love wisdom energy download would be celebrated. And again, I don't want to be negative on religions. However, many of us believe that we can only receive these downloads and this wisdom by going to church or, making sure we go to confession, doing the daily rituals. It has to come from the priest or the pastor or the rabbi. Some even believe that a download's only for clergy and only those who run places of worship. I'm sure downloads happen in these environments, but it's not because of the religion. The religious construct is just a system of, a building, and teachers are simply given permission slips to help you find love and help you believe it can happen. And they're doing great wonders doing that. Many people need a church environment and a community to help them take the very first step to believe that there's something beyond what our physical eyes can see. And it is real, and they need to be courageous. And if going to church helps you do that, do it, because that's just helping you tap into this love wisdom more and more. Once you set aside your old beliefs and you quiet your mind and you settle and you move into the silence, just start practicing meditation. You don't need to do it for 20 minutes a day, yoga style on a fluffy pillow and that's not true. That again is another permission slip, another box of, you know, a system on how to get you there. Just simply notice your breath. Start breathing. 3 to 5 minutes is plenty long. When I explain meditation, I often like to take out a snow globe, kind of like those ones we used to play with as kids, and you could shake it up and the snow would fall and get all, shook it up so that the scenery inside you couldn't see. And I like to say that the snow represents our thoughts that comes through our mind when we try to settle it. It comes and it goes, it comes and it goes, and we'd like them to float away, but we tend on shaking it up because we're focusing on the thoughts. We just need to let the snow settle, like in the snow globe. The key is quiet the mind. Just be the observer of the snow. Like the snow is the thoughts. Let them flow in, let them flow out. Take 1 or 2 minutes and just be the observer, reminding yourself, notice my breaths, notice the snow thoughts, and that's okay. That's how it works. The neurons in your brains are going to light up when they have a thought. So you just want those thoughts to come and to go. And meditation can be experienced in many ways. You don't just have to sit and be still and be silent. I mean, artists are often in a flow of meditation when they're painting or playing the piano or singing. I love to go to my art studio and just sew and work with clay and get into a meditative state. Another question that people will sometimes ask is, what about prayer? Now, I have to say, prayer is the same thing. And my response is, well, prayer is being very active in your thoughts. And it's like giving your thoughts to God and affirming praise and blessing and thanksgiving. I often suggest we want to quiet the mind. So have a journal, laptop ready so that you can maybe write down the things you're clearing out of your mind. And then you can also make a note of the things that are coming in through your download. Once you have this quiet mind, your quiet space, you're not going to be interrupted. Hopefully, open your heart. Get deep into your heart and connect the love wisdom energy with the love frequency. Just imagine that. Kind of like what Einstein said, he said, I believe in intuitions and inspirations. And he said, imagination is more important than knowledge. And he was also credited with saying the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. And the rational mind is the faithful servant. So over time, you're going to become familiar with how the love wisdom energy speaks to you. And again, I'm a firm believer, write it down, take some notes, memorialize it, because you might not always remember the experience. And so get yourself a journal. I take my glasses off when I write. I close my eyes. It's interesting when I download because it just seems like time passes or it just either sometimes it even just stands still. And I can think, wow, 30 minutes went by. And it's only been 6 minutes. And I can hear the words, write this down. And after I get done with the download, I go back and I read it and I go, that was a great message for today. Another thing to take into consideration is that messages may seem a bit jumbled or confusing in the beginning. It's not like they just flow into full paragraphs. And that's simply because you're getting used to listening and interpreting, and you're still, your egoic self is very much there saying, oh, that's you talking. I still have downloads where I'll have maybe broken words, colors, images, sceneries, could be a tune, music. Sometimes it's the dream that I have repetitive, but it's okay to say, what does it mean? What is it that I'm not seeing in this metaphor? Give me some more clues. I need an aha moment is what I often say. During these times, your egoic self's going to say, nonsense, you're all making it up. And at times you may convince yourself that you really are making it up, but just keep it up, because eventually you're going to get something that makes so much sense. And you know that it came from the divine love, wisdom, energy, because there's no way you could have possibly put it together. So love it, welcome it, honor it, accept it. And as soon as you do this, you're going to discover amazing things. There's going to be words that you see or hear or sense. The words are going to carry a wisdom that you couldn't have thought of. The words or whatever it is you're downloading is going to bring clarity to a situation that you needed right then and there. The messages will give you answers to your questions. The messages will always be loving. They may be very short and concise and just get right to the point. The outcome of the download is that you have incredible wisdom. You get gifted with insights and perspectives that are soothing, loving, guiding. It's going to be like the best meal you ever ate, and you're going to want to eat it repeatedly. And if you feel you're downloading negative thoughts or anything that stems from fear or doubt or anger, then you're talking to the egoic energy, and it'll slip in and get you out of whack every now and then. But the love wisdom energy is always an expression of love. It never suggests any harm or anger or lack of love. It does take practice, and often life is going to get busy. And if you're like me, you might have pushed the downloading aside. However, if you stick with it and you build friendships with people who are also doing this in a daily practice, you'll be more supported and encouraged to keep it up. It's part of why I started the community, because everybody will be on this journey of advanced awakening. Once it becomes a habit, your awakening is going to take new heights. And this is really the purpose of my work, to bring everybody together so that we can journey through it together, learn, support, encourage, live, work, and just tap into how it's going for everyone. When you're open and embracing the process of the advanced awakening and advancing your awareness, you really open your energy centers within your body. And you're going to find out that you're probably becoming a little bit more empathic and intuitive than you previously were. There's going to be this energetic body that you now are very aware of that's listening and picking up things. I found in my own experience and through working in this field that a person must acquire the skill of really being a good listener. Too often we get a download and we might miss the message, and we become too busy and we fluff off the messages that are nudging us. And then later we might, just be smack right in the middle of the muck. And that's what our innate intuitive intelligence was trying to warn us about. And we would find ourselves, I sensed something was wrong, but I didn't pay attention. So I'm excited about your journey and the intention that you have to begin a practice of downloading and connecting with the love, wisdom, energy, and letting the innate intuitive intelligence guide you to how you do it. It's going to be exciting for you, and it warms my heart.